So we're here at BeanCon'24 in Mexico, and over the next couple of days we're going to be talking about beans, why they're this amazing source of plant protein, and how they can save the planet.
This event is going to be absolutely unforgettable.
It makes perfect sense for BeanCon to be in Mexico, that, you know, one of the homes of beans around the world, and Cancun, you can't complain. There's never been a better time to be talking about plant-forward eating, and beans are at the heart of that conversation.
This year, being here in person made all the difference in the world. And the difference was meeting the people. I've been blown away by the passion that people have for beans and for changing the way we eat.
I have never been to BeanCon before, but I'm having a ton of fun. Happily, I know a lot of the people here, so it's great to see some familiar faces, but there's just a lot of positive energy in the room, a lot of excitement, and also a lot of open thinking.
This is my first in person. I'm very impressed. Our group has done a fabulous job of putting things together. Very diverse, very interesting, marketing, development, using bean ingredients and foods. It's been wonderful. It was a very good program.
Since BeanCon'23, we have seen just an incredible advance in the dialogue around beans. And I think that's evident just by stopping by our marketplace and looking at the variety of products we have. That's all beans, a few garbs thrown in there.
It's great to see all the bean snacks here, the innovations there, lots of different products to taste and try. That inspires me because you're actually engaging all the senses. It's good to get together and talk about beans. It's much better to eat them.
Red kidney beans, somehow tasting like a whole entire cinnamon way. Amazing.
We're starting to see everything come together where people on every continent are realizing the value of beans, of dry beans, for their nutrition, for their climate smart and sustainability properties, for their taste, for their versatility, for their cost. I mean, I could go on and on. But I think that message we've seen since 23 to 24, that message has started to take hold.
We see that it's really critical over the next 5 years for us to transform the food system, and we see beans, peas and lentils as a really important part in really our food system and really increasing that consumption. We see this as really critical for human health, but also for the planet in terms of how it helps the environment, the climate, soil, and then also for farmers and for everyday people.
It's turning out to be the best possible moment to be here. We're seeing probably unprecedented demand for U.S. dry beans in Mexico this year.
The demand this year is very high. Most of the people are from Mexico because Mexico has some troubles about their crops this year. I think the problems with the climate is not going to be only for this year. Next year, we're going to have a very high demand of pulses around the world.
Is that really a part of your community?
I think the key to increasing bean consumption is actually an empathy exercise to understand what are the people's barriers to eating beans, but also what are the stories that people tell themselves about beans? What are the emotions that they associate with eating beans? And how do we change that story? How do we create a new narrative so that when people see beans, that they are telling themselves that this is going to be something that is delicious, that is exciting, maybe even Instagram worthy, and something that they want to tell their friends about.
One of the findings that I have is that if you find new ways to show people to be eating the foods that they would normally eat, but just adding an ingredient that makes it taste more delicious, adds more colour, more texture, and makes them feel a sense of satiety, then they're probably going to continue to eat it. So we need to make that really accessible for them.
We need to do a better job of making beans delicious. They have to be craveable. We have to teach our students, we have to teach our staff the value of adding more beans, whether it's from a nutrition standpoint and all that beans contribute to our diets, or whether it's from a climate preservation standpoint.
That pathway to learn has been fascinating, and beans have played a critical role. So because it meets that health criteria, the cultural criteria, the faith-based criteria, and the environmental criteria.
A lot of people believe that beans are a poor man's food, and that is certainly not the case. I think that we have one of the most nutritional products to offer through all of our classes or varieties of beans. I think we just need to let people know what a wonderful thing we have. I'm 60 years old, and seeing the younger people's passions about beans, it's wonderful to see. It's very exciting for me.
If I could be any bean, I think I would be a chickpea, because chickpeas are so versatile, and I think like there's a cultural heritage there as well.
I would be a butter bean.
I would be a calypso bean. It's white with these black splotches all over. It looks like it's been splatter painted with black paint.
A white bean like a Great Northern or a cannellini is fun because they're so creamy and smooth, and I feel kind of creamy sometimes.
I am very drawn to the cuisines of Latin America. The black bean is such a key part of so many different meals, and surprisingly, they taste amazing as a dessert.
Oh, black eyes, definitely. They are the best.
Beans? I don't know how many times you guys eat beans.
And so often that comes back to beans.
I don't think there's any community that wouldn't benefit from adding beans. If your issue is nutrition, if your issue is food security, if your issue is food safety, health, climate smart, sustainability, you should be looking to beans.
I love beans. Did you get that? I love beans.